Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of Pencil Puzzles. Day 1 was amazing. If you did not watch day 1 of Pencil Puzzles, every single puzzle there was just chef's kiss amazing. Exactly what I hoped for out of this. I think if more pencil puzzles looked like the ones that we did on what day was it? Sunday? The ones we did on Sunday, I think pencil puzzles would be a lot more popular. So anyway, so if you did not go watch those or do those puzzles, I would really encourage you to do so. Also, I would ask those of you who are watching now if you could take a second to like the stream. It really helps. I've been on a drive to get more people who are here to like the stream because it helps more people to be here. So I would greatly appreciate if you would take a second to do that. I love how I can see the number jump up in real time whenever I say that. So thank you very much to all of you who did that. Alrighty, so I think this is our first puzzle in the Pencil Puzzle Challenge. I did not, by the way, expect this, but I think this is the first puzzle in the Pencil Puzzle Challenge that is actually a standard genre. I think this is a standard Akari. So we need to place lights in some cells, and we need to make sure every cell is illuminated. So our lights, I guess, will look like that. I know Akari is Niverio's favorite, so Niverio will be our ringer. So if I place a light here, what that does is it lights everything in its row and column. Oops. Up until the block point. So these would all become lit. There are a couple rules about light. So I need to light every cell that's not black. And no lights can see each other. So I could not put a light here if there is a light there. So the clues in the grid tell you how many lights there are in these cells. So for example, this one tells me that one of these 3 cells is a light. And they only count orthogonal lights. They do not count diagonally adjacent. So 3 of these 4 cells are lights, for example. Hey, Andrew. Alrighty, so we need to get started somewhere, and I'm going to admit that Akari is, well, least favorite would maybe be harsh, but Akari is the genre I think I least click with, so I'm going to have, like, absolutely no idea what's going on, but we'll do our best. But I think I have absolutely no instinct whatsoever for Akari. All right, so Chris has told us that we can't put lights in either of these spots, which I agree with. Oops, that's not how I wanted to mark that. I wanted to put a gray X. So these spots cannot have lights in them, and the reason for that is because I know that 2 of these 3 spots have lights. So in particular, one of these 2 is a light, and both of these see that cell, and one of these 2 is a light, and both of them see that cell. Oh, sorry, I misattributed. Mario said that. Okay. So is there anywhere we can repurpose that argument? And I think the answer is going to be no, isn't it? Yes, I think the answer is going to be no. I don't think the dark cells without a number mean the number is 0, but that's not spelled out. But in traditional Akari, you would write 0 if it was 0. Yeah, so there's some sort of like cascade thing going on here. The diagonals to the 3 clues. Okay, yeah, so Ambrose points out I can't put, I definitely can't put one there or there. Because, again, I know that 3 of these 4 are lights, and so one of those is for sure, and one of these is for sure, and that sees that. And so that will hit those. It's not quite Minesweeper, it's Akari. So in particular, they don't count things that are diagonally adjacent like it would in Minesweeper. Okay. So, let's see. So, Garion is claiming this cannot be, and I think I see why. So if this was a bulb, one of these two would be a bulb, which would, because this is a 2, mean that exactly one of these two is a bulb, which would then, because this is a 2, mean exactly one of these two is a bulb, exactly one of these two is a bulb, exactly one of these two is a bulb, and then exactly one of those would be a bulb? Is that a problem? I see that I get like a whole bunch of cells that that if this were a light, I would be forced to... Oh, I started the cascade wrong. Right. If this is a bulb, neither of these is. Right. Okay, yes, I started that wrong. Right. So the point is actually the exact opposite. It's if this is a light, then this 1 is done. So both of these are lights. And so this 2 is done. So both of these are lights. And so these 2s are done. And so now both of these are lights, but now I have 2 lights next to a 1. Okay. That makes sense. I was looking at it backwards. So that means, in fact, we do actually have these lines where I know now one of these two is a light, and so we actually get this whole zipper where one of these is a light, and so the consequence is that one's not a light of all of that. Okay, I also know one of these two's a light, and so one of these two's a light, and this percolates down this way in exactly the same way, and so this is not a light. And so if that's not a light, I can do the same over here. So one of these two is a light, one of these two is a light, and that's going to percolate up here to one of those two is a light. So that's not a light. So that does not touch this one, though, so I don't get to keep going in that regard. Let's see. Center diamond does too. Is the point if this... Okay, so I think the thing that that Jaleb is hinting is that if I put a bulb here, it forces by this 2, it forces me to put 2 there, which then by this 2 forces me to put 2 there, but now I've put 2 next to a 1. So this can't be a light. And likewise, actually, this can't be a light either for the same reason, because if this was a light, I would force exactly the same thing. Sorry. Yes, if this were a light, neither of these could be lights, and so these two would have to be, and now these two would have to be, but it would break the 1. So this also is not a light. And so one of these two is, therefore one of those two is, one of those two is, one of those two is, so these are not. Okay, and now I think we're about to actually get some progress, because if this is not a light, these two both are, so these two aren't, so these two both are, and it breaks the 1. So I think this is actually our first light. I think this cell is actually lit. So I believe that we get that that cell is lit. That cell is now unlit because it was on a one of these. And now all of these are light. And we get to do our light dance. Woohoo! Zach would like it to be known that he requested glow-in-the-dark gear for the light dance, but did not receive any. All right, I can do the I can do the same gray trick. So that's lit. So one of these two is, and now only one of those two is. So one of these two is, only one of these two is. So one of these two is, and now neither of these are. And so so now if it's not this one on this 2, now these both have to be lit. Oops. Oh, but it's actually oh no, it's not okay, and it's not okay for a different reason. Okay, so we have a different deduction now, because now these two are forced to be lit, and the reason why that doesn't work is because this one can't be lit, because it can't be a light because it's already lit. So that was all what happened if this was not a light. So if this was not a light, then we end up with lights here and here and here and here, but we've broken the rules. So therefore, that is a light. We can get rid of the line across, put an X here. We can draw in our light like that. And now this looks across and sees that cell that we know one of these two is a light. It's not this one anymore. And so therefore, this is a light. Oops, but lights are yellow. Oops, just like in real life. So that is yellow. Oops, no! So that's yellow. And so I get to yellow all of this. I'm trying to hit the caps lock again. That's why this is not working. And so that means this isn't a light, so this is. Sorry, lights are yellow. So this is not. So that gets me some more yellowage. Like that. Okay. So we have all of that worked out now. Okay, so now this 2 is going to let me put some X's. Oh, I don't? I kept ranks because I don't have to switch to gray, even though I kept unsucceeding, but I was probably unsucceeding on dexterity. So now because 2 of these 3 have to be lights, because that one can't be, that's telling me these can't be lights. I don't know if that's going to help anywhere, but it's the logic we were doing before, so might as well reproduce it. Okay. Okay. Row 9, column 13, I am being encouraged to look at. So that's this one. So if this wasn't, now these 2 both would be. And so now neither of these would be, and so these 2 both would be, except, and they can't both be, because this one has an X. So yeah, so row 9, column 13 is definitely not, is in, because if it isn't in, wait, I forget which direction it was. That was, wait, what was it again? It was, it was if this is out. If this is out, then these are both in. That's when we had to do it. Okay, so this one, this one's not out. It is in. And so we get to look at these, which is then going to tell me that this is in. Ranks is correct, unsurprisingly. So that's going to tell me that all of those are lit. Like that. So we've got that. I don't think the black square is 0. I think the black square is unspecified. Right. Row 5, column 10's 2 is pointed out by Jeffrey. This cell only has 2 things it can see. The only 2 places I could put one are these 2. So those are both forced. So that is going to draw in some more yellow. So that's not yellow, so therefore that is yellow. So that's going to draw in some more yellow. Oops, yellow. So now that's not in, so that is. So this is going to draw in yellow. Oops, no. That's not what I wanted to do, and you know it. There we go. Can cross that out. Okay. Okay. So this 3 only sees, or this 3 sees a cell that's not in. So all of the remaining ones are in. So these are all lights. And so if those are all lights, then I get to draw in my lights. For the first time this puzzle, I did not click the caps lock instead of the shift key by mistake. So all of those are lit, which I'm sure did something. This 2 is now done. I did not actually mark, but this 2 is actually done. So neither of these can be a light. Let's see. Okay. This can't be a light because of this 2. 2 of these 3 are, and so that one can't be by earlier logic. Row 8, column 14. This 2 clue also, Jaleb points out, has 2 cells that can't be in it, so therefore the one remaining one has to be. So I can shade all of these. So this is not in, so this is. Oops, yet again. There we go, that is. So I can draw my cascading light like that. Okay. Okay, I can draw in a little gray line here now. I know one of these 2 is in. And it's exactly 1, because that 2 is done. So now how am I finishing this 2 if exactly one of those is in and that can't be? This has to be in. We have to light those. And now that's not in. So now that is in. And so that is going to light all of those. So let's see. Yes. Row 5, column 4. There we go. Okay, I'm glad. I feel like these little slashy lines were super helpful, except that I didn't see that one. But overall, I feel like they have been a good way to notate this. So that is, that's going to fix all of that. Okay. This 3 is not, this 3 is only 1 away from done. So one of those 2 is in, but not both. And what that tells me is that this has to be in for this 2 to finish. And so that's going to yellow in all of those. So now this cell is unlit unless I make it a light. Because this cell, there's nothing that sees it that could be a light, so it itself has to be a light. Which is going to yellow that cell only, but also finish this 2, and finish the 1, actually. So neither of those is a light. So that is cool. There's a light on this 1. So this 1 is done. Let's see. I do think, like, this puzzle could have been ridiculous if we'd chosen the wrong notation. Okay. Okay. So now chat's point is this cell. Now, because I can't light it from anywhere in its column, I can't light it from itself, so I have to light it from somewhere in its row, but the only choice is here. So that is a light, and these 2 are not lights, but it lights up all of that, which now puts a light here, which lights up all of that, and I can get rid of that little gray line. So we've got that. Okay. Okay. Mario points out this cell has a similar problem. I need to light this cell, but now I can't from the row, so I have to light it from there. So I can fill in that light. I can gray X that cell. And now once I've done that, now how am I lighting this cell? Only from here. And so I can fill in those yellows and these yellows. Let's see. I missed a yellow in row 3. Oh, so I did. Yes, this must be yellow because it sees that light. So therefore, that's the light. And so therefore, all of these are lit. Trying to figure out what happens with this corner, but maybe the answer is I don't know. I mean, there's two possibilities. It's either both of these are in or that alone is in, which would make both of these in. So I guess it's either these two or these two is the answer, but I don't know which. Okay. Carl has a very smart point, which is that this can't be a light, because if this is a light, it would light these, and now this site would be unlightable. So Carl's point is this is not a light. And so therefore, in this row, the only place I can put a light is there, in order to finish lighting that. Well, maybe I should say it more carefully. The only way to light this cell is from here or here. Wait. Yeah, if I don't light here, I guess this is the way to see this. If I don't light here, then this cell is unlightable. There we go. That's the way to say it. Yes. If I don't light this cell, there is no way to light it. So I have to put a light here. Which then yellows those in, and then exactly the same is true of here. If I don't light this cell, nowhere is lighting it. And so then that will yellow that. Over there. Okay, so we've got that corner of the grid done. So there's a little gray line here, actually, because in this row, I definitely need a light because I need to light this cell. It can only be lit from one of these two cells. But now I have to remember what I said about the 2, because I said there's only 2 universes for this 2, which is that both of those are lit or both of those are lit. But the both of these are lit version, or both of these are lights version, breaks this gray line. So it's not both of these that are lights. It's both of these that are lights. This is Mario's point explained with gray lines. So those are both lit. These are not, and in fact, these are X'd. And so all of that is now lit. That is very cool. I think that's like a weird X-Wing kind of thing. Yeah, the notation actually made it very natural to explain. Okay. So yeah, so there is a... so Ranks points out there's a similar-ish thing happening where one of these two has to be a light. Yes, the classic X-Wing on light bulbs. But I'm not quite sure if we get quite the same thing yet. We may end up getting the same thing. Okay. Yes, as Tristan says, if you are just joining us, please take a second to like the stream. It makes our lives better. We greatly appreciate it. Hey, Tom. I mean, I think the funny thing is, Kilroy, I think you get to decide how common they are. Because I think if you implement a nice feature for lights, then I think people will make more lights. If you don't, I think this will be the only Akari I ever do in the CTC app. But we'll see. But I think that I think if you made it, then there would be more. Oh, Ken has been a member for 7 months. Thank you, Ken. Wow, greatly appreciated. Thank you from Zach and I. Very awesome. It's awesome I've been doing this for 7 months, apparently. But also awesome that you've been supporting this for 7 months. That's super cool. We require boomerang throwing plants. Okay, so Ambrose points out if this cell is unlit, both of these are lit, which then makes both of these lit. I don't see it. I need to look one step further. Look right. Which has made both of these light. I'm missing something. Look right on the bottom. Oh, this line, yes. If these two are both lights, then by looking at these two gray lines, it makes both of those two lights, which breaks this. So the universe where both of these are lights is impossible. This is Ambrose's point. I was just looking at the wrong place. These two cells aligned with this. I thought it was going to affect that, but it's actually, even though they don't align, it's this. It's because of the slantiness of the lines. If these two are both light, the puzzle breaks. So therefore, that's light. Is the point. Well spotted, Ambrose. So now that lets us plop a light here. Get rid of that line. Lets us percolate our lighting in there. Now we get a light here, which lets us percolate our light through here. Oops, not through the black, through that. But yes, in short, Sven, I would absolutely love it if there were more pencil puzzle direct support, because then people would make more pencil puzzles that I could do in the CTC app, and that would be awesome. That percolates there. And so now I get to yellow all of that. Let's see. I might be missing some... row 16, column 3. Right. The 2 is the thing that we have, right? The 2 needs a second light, and it can't have one there. So we get all of that. And so that places 2 more lights, one there and one there. Oops. Scritching out these gray lines. And filling in all of this stuff. And this actually sees all the way up there. But now one side of this gray line is done, so we get that light as well, which is going to let us light up all of that. That now touched this, so I'm going to get a light there. It's going to yellowify all of that. Scratch that off. Okay. I don't believe there is an importer. Oh, there's one over here as well that I missed. That's going to be huge, I think. So that is going to get installed. I do not believe there is a Penpa importer to Liam. Would be awesome. Now this cell has no choice but to light itself, or it's not going to be lit. So, alas, it has to do all the work itself. But what are you going to do? Oops. Draw a triangle into the grid for the 8 millionth time. So that is not light. Okay. So now we've got even more stuff to do. Row 12, column 2? I don't think JLib means row 12, column 2, but I could be wrong. Let's see. Row 6, column 5. Ah, right. What cell lights this cell is Ken's point. The only cell that lights this cell is that one. So that is light, which lights both of those. And now this is light to fulfill that line. So these are lit. So now this is light to fulfill this line. And so now those are lit. And so now this is light to fulfill this line. Oops. So now we get those across like that. Now this is the only cell that can be lit to light this, because there's nothing else that can do it. So this, oh, I missed a yellow in row 7. Yes, sorry, that is also yellow, thank you. This cell needs to be a light to see it, or to light itself. So we can cross those out, put a little X there. So this is now yellow. Now this cell can only be seen from here, actually. So this cell now has to be lit, which is going to do those. This cell is now only seen by itself. So this is a light. And these are all lit. So we've got all of those down there. This line needs a light on it. So there we go. So these go there. Now this cell can only be lit by itself. So we can light that. This 2 now sees 2, so this is not a light. In fact, both of those 2s now see 2, and so now the only cell that sees this cell is itself. And so, wabam. And I believe we have now completed our Akari. Very nice. Very, very smooth. Yes, and I made it through an Akari puzzle, which is an accomplishment for me for sure. Excellent, excellent. Niverio, by the way, would you mind posting a Penpa version of yours where you spell out what the rules of the 2 hybrids are? Because I would like to be able to have them on screen, so that I can refer to them. I just looked ahead and noticed that Niverio says standard Tapa rules, standard Nuritapa rules. It would be nice to have them spelled out in the Penpa link, if possible. Yes, awesome puzzle. Enjoyed a lot. Alrighty, I'm going to take a quick break, and then we will be back with this. Oh, you can't actually see the thing I'm previewing here. We'll be back with this fascinating-looking puzzle. So see you all very shortly. Oops, wrong mode. There we go. How about that? There, that looks nice. Next up, we have this puzzle by Wisteria that I believe is basically a 3D ring. So we must draw rectangular loops. Tristan doesn't like me having the thing hanging ever so slightly across the bottom, so we'll do that. There we go. Now you can see the whole cube. So we have to draw loops through the centers of some cells. Rings can only intersect perpendicularly at their sides. They do not overlap or share corners. All white cells must be connected to a loop. And all black cells must not. Is it possible the loop goes over the edge, is my question. I don't think so. I don't think anything that does that is going to be a rectangle, is it? Or is it? No. I think this counts as a rectangle. I think I believe this is a rectangle in the sense of this puzzle. I've decided that although it is a rectangle here. Okay, so everything has to be a rectangle. And so if you've never done one of these puzzles before, the sort of first thing you can do is every corner, has to include a thing. Because, oh, my audio is bad. 1 second, let me try and fix it. Okay, there we go. So every white cell has to be on a loop, which means there have to be two green things protruding from it. And if you're in a corner, there are only two green things that could possibly protrude from it, and so you have to use both. And so all of these corners. Now here, note there's a perpendicular meeting. And the only way that works is if I have two rectangles that pass through it. So as soon as I have two lines that meet perpendicularly, I get to just continue them. Now this rectangle, it has to turn here because it can't extend past the black line. This rectangle can't turn here. Oh no, it could turn here. Never mind. So let's see. There's also a corner down here. There's also a corner down here. Same rule about how these things have met perpendicularly, so they have to extend. This now has to turn left because this has got to be a rectangle. It can only be left. And then there's one up here. This is not a corner, but this also only has one way that I can draw a loop through it, because really the essence the essence of the corner rule is that if something only is adjacent to two things, then it has to go through there. That's the loop puzzle thing. So the same thing is true here of this cell. It only connects to two things. By the way, I didn't actually explicitly mention it, but the dashes are walls. It's true of these two as well. That I get to wall through those things. Okay. Yes, there's a tunnel down here as well, Ambrose points out. Oh, and on the whole bottom, there's one as well. So that is also a tunnel. Tunnel is a good name for a place where there's only two outs. Yes, there is another corner on the bottom right, Ranks points out, that I just missed, and that's an orthogonal intersection, so it has to extend. That's an orthogonal intersection, so it has to extend. That's an orthogonal intersection, so it has to extend. And so now we've got a whole bunch more stuff going on. What is the mundanest of tasks, Jessica? And I'm glad that I can provide you some joy in the world. Oh yeah, maybe this rectangle might be doing something completely ridiculous. Let's Let's see. I'm just examining to see if I know any of these things turn. Probably I do. There's a tunnel on the right, is a good point from several people in chat. Nicholas and Mario pointing out that was also a tunnel. Oh, there's also a tunnel here, actually. This cell only has two oops. I did not mean to do that. This cell only has 2 ways out. So we get that. Okay, so we've got probably more corners too that I have just completely missed. But we'll find them eventually, maybe, possibly. This has been very fun so far. Let's see. The bottom left corner is in fact a corner. That is correct. The bottom left corner is a corner. Penpa is amazing at letting you, as a creator, create almost anything you can imagine of, which is very cool. That is definitely like the thing I really like as Penpa. Or about Penpa. Like, I think I've said this many times before. I do most of my setting in Penpa. Let's see. I'm trying to check and see if one of these things can't turn for some reason. So I know that this rectangle, this one, sorry, I can't highlight cells, which is makes this harder to explicate, but this sort of C-shaped almost rectangle, it either goes vertically here or it goes vertically here. Those are the only options for it to do. This cell, actually. Could this cell be the corner of a rectangle? Oh, it could be the corner of a rectangle going this way. Never mind. You can't see my mouse? I can see my mouse in my OBS preview. Interesting, interesting. Okay, I don't know why sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. It's possible, is it because my mouse was hiding over here? I don't know. But thank you for letting me know either way. Let's see. The right side of row 8, column 4. Oh, Lord. What? Row 8, column... What grid are we even in? Bottom row. Here? I feel like that can't be... Maybe here? Okay, so Isabella's claim is that this cell can't do something, can't go up. Isabella's claim is that doesn't work. And I see why. Because if this goes up, it goes up again. But now I have 2 rectangles that both need to end here, and it doesn't work. So this, in fact, can't go up. It has to go right. That's a really good spot. And then as soon as we see that, now this is a corner, and so it does that. 2 things meet at a right angle, so they must continue. This rectangle we can finish. Very cool. This now absolutely cannot go down because there's nowhere it's allowed to stop, so it has to turn. Let's see. Yes, that was a very good spot. This has to continue. because it's part of this Oh, wait, no, sorry. This doesn't have to continue. Sorry. I was wrong. I was confused about what rectangle was which. This is a tunnel, so this has to keep going because this only has one way to go. This has to continue. This is Ranksk's point because it's part of this rectangle. This is a feature I miss from Puzzlink versions of these where it shows you the different loops in different colors. But this rectangle goes up at least to this row. But this one can't make it up that high, so it needs to go at least that far because of this blocker. So we've got that. I could color them myself, but I don't. But it would be a pain. The Puzzlink version will automatically, as they merge, will color them, which is helpful for these kinds of things. Yes. This side of this rectangle can't go left in this row, 57 Thorns points out, so it has to go up at least that far. Okay. This has been... Oh, this is a corner now. This cell. Right? Can't be. What am I missing? Oh, it's good. The thing I'm missing is it's not a corner. Because there's actually 3 ways it can go. I don't know why I thought it was a corner. I'm not sure I can actually say anything about it, in fact. Okay. So this... Oops. This thing Isabella is pointing out now, it can't go left here because it would run into this before it finished, so it would have to go up. And now that actually connects this, so this is one gigantic... In fact, I will actually color this one. This is one gigantic rectangle. I realized that did not actually do all of that much to clarify what on earth was going on, because the blue and the green look identical to me. But that means that this now has to get pulled over here. I'm trying to decide if this can actually keep going. And the answer is no, because if this tries to keep going onto this face, it's going to run into this. So actually it has to do this, I believe. Someone can verify I understood the 3-dimensional rectangliness of that. Okay, so now this is now a corner. So that's forced. And now this is a corner, so that's forced. Uh-oh, what did I do? Isn't this broken? No, right, this is not a corner because it can go through the loop, is the point. It can go through the loop because this is not at the edge of the board. This is at the edge of one board, but it's not at the edge of the cube. That's the point. My brain was reading this like it was on an edge over here where it would be a corner, but it's not. It's on an edge between two of these things. So yes, so okay, got that. Okay, did I create any corners over here, though? I created one here. So this is where I actually get that corner I thought I had. This is now a corner, because I can't go right, and I can't go down. So that's a corner, so now these cross. And now this crosses. This can't continue up, so it comes left. That forces that up. This is forced to go left. That forces that up. This is forced to go left. Yeah, unfortunately, the only color that's available other than the blue and the green would look identical is red, and I really don't like using red and green as colors. That's like the worst possible combination. But I can perhaps, in the interest of maybe for some viewers helping make this clear, run over that in red. I really don't. Surface would be awful because the loops cross each other, so I don't think surface would work. So this red rectangle actually has to keep going up, because if it tries to turn left here, it's going to run out of that way before it finishes. So this is going to go up, which is then going to force this to keep going because they meet at a right angle, which is going to force this to go up. The red loop is definitely not the blue loop. It's not the green loop, so these are each going to be forced to continue. Now, trying to make sure that this would actually have 4 corners to it. Right. The red on the bottom can't stop because it would run into this before it finished. And now it can't stop here because it would run into that. Can't stop there, so it makes it at least there. But I think there are 2 options for what it does from there. But now, importantly, I have a corner here, so it looks like that. Oh, Tristan, I think, is trying to get me to realize that if the red rectangle continues one more, it creates a problem for this. Because of this loop. And I think I agree. I think if red does indeed try to go one over, then this loop becomes incomplete. No, it doesn't, because this can just be a square. This is okay. Yeah, red sure doesn't look like a rectangle to me. I don't think there's any way that red is going to be a rectangle. So Tristan is looking at this one. If red goes over, this can just be a square, though, I think. So I don't... I mean, I'm willing to count blue as having 4 graph theoretic right angles. I think red is not going to have 4 graph theoretic right angles. I think it's going to have 3 graph theoretic right angles. There is this line. This line right here. It can't turn left, so it has to go up, which then forces that to happen, which then forces that to happen, which then forces that to happen. That was the thing I was missing, or at least it was a thing I was going to miss. Okay, that string of things pushing on each other was interesting, but... Eric thinks that's finished something, which I would 100% believe, but I don't see it. I, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 1 This line, so this is Isabella's point, this line, well, not let me put an X there, it will, although it doesn't look very good. This line can't continue up because it would run into that. So this is definitely a corner in one direction or the other. So that I agree with. Let's see. Okay, I think chat is trying to describe to me that this rectangle can't go left, but I honestly don't know. If it goes left, something happens in row 1, column... right. If this rectangle finishes like this cell has become something worse than a corner. No, never mind. I don't think I never mind. No, it is not, because it can go there. Okay. This cell. So if this does this, this cell can't go up anymore. And so it would make a corner, but it can't, is Isabella's point. I'm trying to see if there's a nice way to see that otherwise. Yes, there is. This cell just is a corner, is the point. That's the right way to see this. Row 3, column 3 is just a corner, because it can't go down. It could go down. Sorry, it's not a corner. It could go down if it's part of this rectangle. But even if it is part of this rectangle, that still breaks the ability of this to do that. Anyway, that goes like that, is the point. Right. Okay, so sorry. Crispy has the right way of framing what I was trying to do, which is that this cell, row 3, column 3, there's 3 options it could possibly go. Left, up, and down. If it doesn't go up, then it goes left and down, and that combination doesn't work. So this always goes up. And once you see that this cell always goes up, then it's easy to see Isabella's point that this rectangle can't continue. Thank you, Crispy. There we go. That is the elegant way to see this. Okay, and so now this certainly can't turn here because it would run into stuff. So this keeps going. This can't turn here either, but maybe it could turn left. Probably, actually, I think it probably does actually turn left. So we've got that. Okay. I think it can turn left and just become this rectangle, unless I'm missing something. Left face, row 1, column 6. Yes, this is a corner. Very good. Yes, thank you, Ken. This cell is a corner because it can't go up, because this whole up is occupied. So it has to do that, which then forces that to do that. And now I think this cell is a corner. I think. It can't go left. It can't go down. So yes, this cell is a corner, and it's a very weird one, because it then has to do that of all things. Bizarrely. This one's not going to be a rectangle either. If this continues, it overlaps with this, which it can't do. So it can't continue. Now this can't go left. and can't go right, so it goes up. Can't go left and can't go right, so it goes up. I don't think this can possibly go right. It cannot, because it would become part of this rectangle, but not part of this rectangle. So this goes up and up. And now this rectangle has ended, because now it can't continue through whatever is going on with this thing. The definition of rectangle is very interesting in this puzzle. Like, somehow I intuitively understand it, but I would not want to be asked to define what rectangle means in the context of this puzzle. I mean, this isn't even a rectangle or a box. This is just a freaking triangle. Like, this is no kind of rectangle whatsoever. But somehow, mechanically, in the context of puzzles and Ring Ring, it's clear to me that it should count as a rectangle for this puzzle. Left face, row 2, column 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, yes, this is a secret corner. That is a great spot. From Jeffrey. This is from Jeffrey. This is a secret corner. And so it has to do that. I agree one of these two extends. Oops, did I just draw a line? I did just draw a line. I wasn't intending to. There is a corner here. I think Carl points out, yes, this cell is a corner because it can't go this way because it would run into the blue. I think someone earlier was saying something about row 1, column 5, and I tried a bunch of things that I thought might be row 1, column 5, but I'm pretty sure this is the row 1, column 5 they were talking about. That just did not happen in the first 3 cells I looked at that might be row 1, column 5. That's always the idea, Ranksk. Okay, and it can't go through here because it would have nowhere to finish, so it has to turn there. Now this can't turn left or right, so it has to continue. Yeah, people just keep saying row and column numbers, and I just try and do it by vibes. But I sometimes the vibes have worked, and sometimes the vibes have not. So, like on this face, saying that that's a row 3, column 3 is clear to me. The top face is the one where I have the hardest time deciding. I think this wants to be my row 3, column 3, maybe. Red does need to connect to itself. I agree with that statement. Let's see. Sorry, I'm reading chat, but I'm having to dissect which loop is being talked about, which is the tricky part. Okay. One of these loops, I know people are telling me I should be able to see can't turn, but I honestly just don't know which loop people are talking about. Like, people are saying the too high loop, which describes this one, and this one, I believe. Like, every loop on the top face, I believe, is a two thing. And then once I look at them, I'm not quite sure exactly what I think is happening. Okay. The green can't extend towards the red. So you're saying there is an X here, I believe. I think I believe that because this green, right, this green can't extend towards that red. That's definitely true. Okay. Oh, right. Actually, this X doesn't actually really help me because the red can turn there. Oh, that's confusing. Yes, the green can't turn that way, but the red can turn this way. Okay, so this cell, J40 says, has to connect left. If it doesn't connect left, right. If it doesn't connect left, then I need to somehow make a 2x2 box, which is going to break all kinds of things. So this always connects left going here, and the exact same thing is true of this cell. Okay, I was kind of looking at that earlier, but I was not finding the right words. This can't continue. Oh, sorry, maybe it can. I was misreading. I thought this was going to land there. It's not going to land there. This can't... Oh, maybe it can extend. Never mind. I was going to say something nonsensical. So if this extends, so someone's asking what happens if this extends, like that, then red ends here, green goes up and turns there. Oh, green can't turn there is the point. Okay, that's a little hard to see without drawing it in for me. This wall is the relevant piece. So if this extends, it can only extend by 1. And it would extend and be a square, which would force this green to turn here and connect. Oh, never mind. It would force this green to connect, but green isn't passing through there anyway. Never mind. So sorry, I don't think I know what happens. We have a tunnel from top to left side. Where is it? So the top to left side. So of a 3-cell wide tunnel. I'm not sure how to interpret that. Okay, so I keep wanting to think these two connect, but I don't think I know these two connect, and in fact, I think I might. I think they probably don't. I think these two probably connect, but I guess if these two connect, then these two do connect, but who knows? Yes, okay. Here's a point that I definitely believe. This can't go up, because then it creates an inlet, and we aren't allowed to have inlets. So this has to go this way. So we at least have that. And now this is a corner. So now that can do that. Yeah, red needs to either go through this column or the next column. But I don't see how I know which one is the problem as things currently sit. Okay. Left side, row 5, column 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Column 8. Can't go up or right. I'm not in the right place. Row 5, column 8. Let me try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's that cell. That cell. Never mind. Sorry, this is not a 9 by 9. I have learned now. This cannot go right. So this can only go in these 3 directions. But Jay also says it can't go up. Right. If this goes up, I would need to connect this down, and there's no way that that connects down. So in fact, this is a secret corner. And now this is now forced to finish like that, not like that, like that. So this is now a corner. This is a corner, I believe. Let me double check. I liked the 9 we made. Okay. Row 3, column 8 extends. We have a problem. Right. Okay, that's true. If this extends here... Actually, maybe I don't quite see it. Oh, the problem is this cell. So if this extends here, it pushes this down and creates creates a crossing, but now this has nowhere to go. So this can't keep going this way. So the thing I'm saying is if that happens, but now this cell has no friends to be with. So this does not extend, and therefore it does go down. And now, therefore, this rectangle finishes like this, and therefore this connects up like that. This is now a corner, which forces that rectangle to finish like that. This is now a corner. Okay, so we're making progress. Bye, Nell. Okay. row 4, column 7 is 4. Oh, I think I got that one. I think. If I use my vibes-based reasoning to decide which one I think row 4, column 7 is. Okay. So now the point is, I now know that this rectangle, I guess I can make, I don't know. This rectangle, I now actually know it's just going to connect straight across. And so it either connects through here, or it goes over one and connects through here. But the red also does one of these. So I think the thing that's true is I don't know which is which. Oh, no. Yes, I think that's true. I don't know which is which, but I think I know that these vertical lines are always included. Which is trippy because it means it looks like... oh, it could go over 2. Darn, no, sorry. Ranksky is right. It could go... I had convinced myself it couldn't go over there, but I think it could. Unfortunately. Row 2, column 2 does not extend because of row 2, column 3. Oh, yes, I should delete that line. Thank you. Thank you. Row 2, column 2. I'm guessing this is row 2, column 2. Does not extend because of row 2, column 3. I don't understand. I think I'm probably looking at the wrong place. Okay, let's see. Okay, so here's a point that Garion says that I can now see in my head. This can't extend, because if this extends, it forces this to join the red loop, but now my red loop is not an acceptable loop. So in fact, that actually tells me that this looks like that. Okay, I can see that. And I thought that was going to have created corners, but it seems not to have. Mario wants me to ask what takes this cell, but I that does not seem like a thing that I'm capable of answering. Maybe I can, but I don't understand how to do it yet. It definitely has a vertical piece, but I don't think... So, let's see. I'm looking for Amy's point. Let's see. Amy says red has to extend. I don't see how we know that yet. Row 3, column 3 is unreachable. Yeah, I think we are in that situation where chat... yeah, this is row 1, column 1 of the top face. I can make it orange. This is row 1, column 1 of the top face. Uh, people are very passionate about whether red extends or not. Let's see. So row 3, column 6 is here. Okay, so Amy wants to look at row 3, column 6, which I believe is the cell where my cursor currently is. Or is it row 6, column 3? No, row 6, column 3 is already filled in. So this is row 3, column 6. So the point is, this always extends this way. I think that's the point. Because this is the thing that always shows up in pencil puzzles. It can't go that way, so there's only 3 options. But the option where it connects up and down doesn't work. So this always goes that way, which is the smallest of deductions, but is a deduction nonetheless. So maybe that will turn into a deduction eventually. Okay. So yeah, so what loops is this part of? So this either needs to connect there or connect there, is Rank's point. Sorry, no, is Jay's point. This either goes left or goes right, at which point it either becomes red or becomes green. In either case, that goes down one further. So we've got that. So it's either creating a little 3x3 loop or it's creating a giant red loop. But I don't think we know which one. So Ranks wants to look at row 5, column 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to guess Ranks is referring... Well, that's row 4, column 4. Okay, I think I don't understand what cell Ranks means. Oh, left face? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. This cell. Oh, so in the universe where red extends all the way, so in the world where I'm imagining that red is actually connecting through all of this, Ranks claims this cell is isolated. I'm trying to see if I can at all visualize that. I think I believe that, but it is but it is quite a look ahead. So, well, the problem is chat has claimed that red extends or doesn't both ways very emphatically. Sorry, I did not mean to scroll that. So it's hard to even know because there's no consensus in chat about which thing it is that happens. It's hard for me to know which one I should try and decipher. Row 2, column 3. Okay, so I think the point that Afraid Not is making is that there's a pair that obviously doesn't work here. Is it that one? Is that nonsense? Or is it this one that's nonsense? Or is it this one that's nonsense? I don't know. All three of them look plausible to me. The straight line pair doesn't work, so Ranksk is not Ranksk. Afraid Not is claiming that this does not work. That I don't quite see. Let's see. So I'm going to draw just a tiny bit more just to see if I can see what goes wrong here. So this would be forced to turn here. Right. Okay. I see it. Okay. So the point is, and I think this is totally, I don't think humans can see this, but Afraid Not can. If this goes horizontally straight through here, what happens is I end up breaking this rectangle in a rather convoluted way, because this rectangle goes too far. And so this can't be that, and so this is always in. That is AFK points, or AFK's point. It's not so much that I'm hesitant to use too much look ahead in pencil puzzles. It's more, I feel like I'm 3/4 of the way into the puzzle and I have used none. So it's weird to suddenly be using look aheads that require filling in 14 cells. So what loop does this belong to? So if it's a new loop, it would have to go down like this. And I think that would break the fact that both red and green have to go down. Because both this red and sorry, maybe that's not true. Because this green can just finish like this. Never mind. I don't think that works. It would break red. Because this green I used to think was going to be something big, but it's not. This green just needs to go. So this green either connects here or it connects there. Those are the only options. Okay, so red is either coming straight down now, or red could go down here. Those are the two options. So red is taking... Yeah, so either this whole string is red, or this whole string is red, I believe. Okay, so Jay is suggesting I look at what happens if green closes now. So if green closes now, it looks like that. And red is forced to go up and go over. And then that breaks this 2-cell line now. Wow, that's hard to see. Okay. So the point is now when red goes over, I'm just going to draw this in because I couldn't visualize this in my head at all. Now red has to come down here, and now this little line is broken. So the point is green can't connect here. So green has to connect... Oops, sorry, wrong color. So green has to connect all the way up there. And now it finishes. So that finishes. So red, in fact, does not extend, is the answer. I believe, if I understand this correctly. I think that's what's forced. So green does that now. This is a corner. So this has to do that. And now this is, this rectangle has to finish, and it can't finish there, so it finishes like that. Now this is a corner, and so we're going to get those through like that. This has to keep going. This has to keep going. Oh, and so now this rectangle has to finish. Oops. Penput trying to trick me there. I see it. This can't extend up, so it has to go like that. Interestingly, if this goes down, it breaks, because it can't finish in either of these places, so this actually has to turn now. But this can't keep going. It would run into a wall, so this finishes like that. This is a very cool puzzle. I quite enjoyed this. If I wasn't enjoying it, I would have just bifurcated earlier. But I was trying to see the thing. I don't think I ever saw the thing, but I felt like there was a thing. This can't continue, so it does that. And this is now a corner, so it's going to do that. And so now it looks like that. And if I go in and green everything, then we'll get to do that. We'll see if my greening everything breaks the rest of the puzzle. It might. Uh-oh. Oh. Haha. There we go. Woohoo! We did it! Puzzle completion dance! Woohoo! Thank you, Zach. That was lovely. Thank you, Wisteria, for that. Much appreciated. Great, great puzzle. Great, great combo of rules. I think this is my first thing here. I'm still weirded out by the fact that this is a triangle and not a rectangle, but I will survive that. Very neat. It is often pointed out that on a sphere it is very easy to make a triangle that has 3 right angles, which is not so easy to do in plane space. So to me, afraid not, this is not a turn. Like, this is a right angle in physical space, but it's not a graph theoretic turn. So the only turns to me on this one are that. Sorry, I was going to do this in a different color. Are that, that, and that. Those to me are the only graph theoretic turns. Alrighty. Well, give me just a moment, and I will be back with more pencil puzzles. Jay Dyer's Akari Sloop is up next. Be right back. Alrighty, welcome back. My camera seems to have drifted up a bit. Maybe that just means my posture is better, but let me adjust it so that my camera shows me a little bit more. Possibly. Properties. Configure video. Tilt. There we go. That is better. I know the space above my head is very important. Oh, we have a donation from Wisteria. Thank you to Zeta, Tristan, and Zach. So grateful to see you encouraging people to have an interest in pencil puzzles. This challenge was a blast. Thank you, Wisteria. Thank you. You could have a donation dance. Woohoo! Woohoo! Thank you so much, Wisteria. And I do agree. I've really been enjoying the things that people made out of this. And I hope several people, at least out of this, feel a desire to set more of these, because I would like more of a lot of these things that people have made. Alrighty, so let's read the Akari Sloop by J. Dyer. So we need to place lights in some white cells such that all white cells are seen horizontally or vertically by a light, and no lights see each other. Black cells block the view. Draw a single loop through all white cells which do not contain lights. The loop may not branch or cross itself. Okay, so this is going to be fascinating. Okay, so here's the first thing I see. This cell can't be a light. We're going to... Yes, this will support row and column numbers. Let's put those on after our previous adventure. Maybe. There we go. Row column numbers. You ask, you got it. Okay. If this was a light, it would create a dead end here, I believe. So let me just show you what I mean, and let's verify that I'm correct. If this is a light, now this cell can't be a light, and so there has to be a loop that goes through it, except it now only has one exit at most, or maybe 0, but neither way works. So I'm going to keep my notation from the previous puzzle and use an X for this is not a light, and exactly the same argument applies here. And so we're going to get to do this a lot of places, I believe. So if this were a light, I would create a dead end there. If this were a light, I would create a dead end there. If this were a light, I would create a dead end here. If this were a light, I would create a dead end here. That too. I believe these two as well. I think those two. I think these two. Let's see. There's fancier ones like this one, Chad is pointing out, because if I put one here, this cell has become a dead end, and so that one, these two, that one would create a dead end in one of those two places. That would create a dead end there. 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 Either of those would create a dead end there or there. Okay. This would create a dead end there. Okay, and so I'm also going to draw in the path. I'm trying to decide what color of path I think is going to be most exciting. So now this cell... this cell also, so I should start here, sorry. This cell also can't be light because it would create a dead end there. And so I can start, my loop has to go through here, and it has to at least make it through there. My loop's going to be blue. This also can't be a light because it would create a dead end there. This can't be a light because it would create a dead end there, J40's pointing out, and so that also gives me a little bit of sloop. And note, as soon as a loop touches a cell, it also cannot be light. So I'm not going to put an X on every cell, I think. Maybe I might. That does that. But we have to remember that. I don't think I can not use this exit for my sloop. Because my my loop has to enter this 2x2. And if it doesn't use this exit, then it has to enter this 2x2 and immediately leave it, and that would require 3 lights. So I believe, oops, that is not at all what I wanted to do. And no, how did letter mode get turned on? No, undo. Okay, so if we don't use this, I'm screwed. So that has to go like that. It has to be one of the ways I get in. Like that. Alrighty. So that minor disaster aside, can use L for light and L for loop. That sounds useful. I like it. I'm seeing more places I can gray cell or gray X. I can gray X this cell. Oops. Wrong color. I can gray X this cell because I would create a dead end there. I can gray X that cell because I would create a dead end there. Same deal at those places. Let's see. Sorry, I want to look at where... Didn't Mario just tell me something had to be a light, and I now don't see it in chat? I was looking for it. I don't know. Let's see. Row 2, column 8 can't be light. There's a very similar argument to what I just made before. This 2x2 region needs to have loop in it. And so if it only used these two, there's a bot in chat for any mods around. If it were only these two, it would have to do that, and that's not going to work. So always the loop goes through here. So we've got that. Thank you, Jessica. Alrighty. So I guess I know one of these two is a light because I can only enter and exit this once. I know one of these two is a light. And so I guess the thing is, if I know one of these two is a light, I know this definitely isn't a light. This can't be this can't be a light because it would create a dead end there. Let's see. Yeah, I am very intrigued. Like, I feel like there's probably a uniqueness argument for which of these is... I'm not going to use it, but I feel like there probably is a uniqueness argument for which of these is light, but maybe I'm wrong. Row 5, column 8, says Crispy. Right. That would also create a dead end there. And row 6, column 5, that would create a dead end there. Excellent. Oh, there and there, in fact. Let's see. Selena says, if I have any white cells A that connect to exactly 2 other white cells B and C, neither B nor C can be light, since it would break A, and you can do this at every corner. So something like this connects to exactly 2 other white cells. Yeah, that's exactly what we've been... I think that's just a different way of saying that you can't create a dead end. Because I think the X's are these. I think this can still be a light, though. Row 6, column 6. Right. That also can't be light. Aha! There we go. Okay, so J40 notes that can't be a light because it would create a dead end there. And now this little cell can only be lit by itself because it's sort of crunched here. And so we get an actual light that is going to light up the tiniest possible portion of the grid. But there we go. That's all light. Okay, but now that that is light, do I want to do that? I should do a light dance. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Much appreciated. I'm debating if I want that. Blue lines are a loop. So this now has to go through like that, and this has to go through like that. Okay, I kind of hate this, so I'm going to put it back like that and just try and remember that, let me do that. So because this cell now only has 2 places it can go, and this cell only has 2 places it can go, I end up getting that. And now I have more places I have to avoid making a corner. So, oops, I did a random coloring in the grid again, as so often happens. Okay, so now this cell now can't be a light, because if this cell was a light, I would create a dead end here. Yes, the loop is lit. It just can't have a light bulb on it. So I've created this, which is quite interesting. Yes, the whole loop must be lit, because the whole puzzle must be lit. Yes. That is correct. This, Selena points out, this would also create a dead end if I put that there. This would create a dead end if I put one here. I just have endless string of these that I'm not seeing. Row 3, column 5 says, right, this would create a dead end here because of this loop, right? The loop has effectively created a wall. And so the same thing there. So those, I at least won't feel too bad about those, because those only became available after I fit in a tiny bit of loop. Oh, yeah, for whatever reason, I didn't continue this out the other end and this out the other. Oh, it's because I got it late. But yeah, these have to continue out at least that far. Let's see. Pulverizing pancakes is we have to light this cell. Ah, yes. We have to light this cell. And there's only one way we can light it. That's awesome. This is the only place a light can go that can see that cell. Very cool. So this can be a light. And as soon as that is a light, we get to highlight all of this, and all of that becomes lit. Very nice. So now this cell now has to connect through like that. This cell has to connect through like that. This now has to connect there. This cell now would be a dead end if it was on the loop, because it would go like that, and it would not be a loop. So this cell is actually another light. So we can put more light in the grid. Only a little bit, but say a little bit. So we've got that. This cell is now a whatever you want to call it. It only connects to 2 things. I feel like we had a name for that, and now my brain just cannot think of what that name was. But anyway, this is now forced to do that. Corner, there we go, corner. So we have a word for corner, and then we have a word for it goes straight through, but really they're the same. Okay, so we've got all of that. This is a very cool idea, by the way, Jay. I am loving this. I'm looking to see if... Okay, so now this cell now has to have the loop going straight through it. Because now that this is lit, I can't create a break there. So I've got to do that. I don't know that it does very much, but I do have to do it. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I was looking. Oh, Crispy has something, but the thing Crispy had was the thing I saw before I got desperate enough to look over there. Row 7, column 11. Right. That's been available from the beginning. I just didn't see it. That cell definitely has a loop. Nicholas, it's not that this cell can't go down. It's that this cell needs to have loop on it, and it's a corner. So this cell is actually the one that's forced, not that one. But of course, once this cell is forced, it tells you that. Row 6, column 10 is another another X. I'm not getting any awards for what percentage of the X's I spotted myself. I'll tell you that much. The fact that this cell needs to get lit is actually, it's running out of options. It could be lit from there, there, or there. But not a lot of options. Let's see. This thing with the 2x2s, I feel like I'm supposed to get more out of, but I didn't so far. Row 4, column 15, right? That would also make one. Very good. Let's see. Nordy says row 5, column 16. Nordy says these two have to be connected, but then Nordy is no longer sure about that. I have been trying to do that, yeah. So I have been exactly trying to do that, Selena. Here's one I missed. Because it would create a dead end here and here. This one would create a dead end there. Okay, let's see. Nordy believes that Nordy is correct. Okay, so if we don't connect these two, then my loop looks like... Sorry, if I don't connect these, then my loop has to do that and that. I'm just checking myself to see why that's bad. It's probably going to make lighting these things difficult, isn't it? I mean, this will definitely come out here. This will definitely come out here. Ah, yeah, okay. And so this has to come out here, and now this cell is unlightable. I think that's visualizable. I think I could sort of, if I know what I'm looking for, I can convince myself that happens. That, yeah, that this cell becomes just completely shut off. And it's not, because simple loop is so, like, simple, for lack of a better word, I feel like looking ahead a little bit further is perfectly reasonable with simple loop. Like, I don't at all grimace at that level of looking ahead with this. Okay. Row 11, column 2 needs to be lit by something. Ah, yes, very good, very good. Okay, so ranks because others have said this, but this cell can only get lit from here, which is analogous to an earlier pulverizing pancake-related deduction. So all of those become green, which now lets me extend my loop through here. Because now I have that. And so now I've got some more corners to fill in. Oh, maybe I don't actually, because maybe all the corners are now lit. No, this one isn't. For example, this is a place I can't put a light anymore because I would create a dead end here. That may somehow be the only one, though. I'm not sure. Oh, and these cells. So we've got some loop going because this cell needs a loop through it. It's going to do that. This cell needs a loop through it. It's going to be that. This now has to connect there. And now this is a corner, so I can't put one there. Let's see. Selena is going to give me a list of some additional corners. Row 8, column 6. Ah, right, because this cell... Right, if that were a light, it would isolate that one. Okay, row 10, column 9. Right, and so if this were in, it would isolate... No, that was right. This one can't be, because it would create an inlet there. And row 10, column 11 is here, and so this would be bad. Okay. That might have gotten us up to date on those. Row 12, column 13. Right, this has got to be in the loop, and it's a corner, as J40 points out, because now these are the only two directions it can go, which is what we're always looking for in these questions. Hey, Kodak, how are you? Row 13, column 12... yes, also only goes those two ways. Let's see. Row 5, column 14 splits the loop. Not quite sure what that means. Row 16, column 13 and 14. Right, okay. So this cell can only connect to 3 things. So what Jeffrey's saying is this cell can only connect to 3 things. And this connection does not work because it creates a dead end here. And you could say, but that could be a light, but then it creates a dead end there instead. So that combination does not work. And whenever that combination does not work, it tells me that this line has to be in. If you learn one thing about loop puzzles from today, it should be that whenever you can rule one combination out of something with 3 versions, you get a free line. And that is now a corner, is a good point, once we have that. Good point. Row 5, column 14 can't be light. Okay, this is Hook's comment. So if row 5, column 14 was light, then I would create... Right, I would create 2 corners, is the point. If this is a light, then I create a passageway Yeah, I guess not two corners, but yeah, if this is a light, this is the point. I create a passageway that I have to go through here, but also a passageway I have to go through here, and now my loop is two loops, which is not allowed. So this is Hooke's point. This is an X. Okay. I think the same thing happens. Yes, the same thing happens if this cell is a light. If this cell is a light, I now am obligated to go through here, but I'm also obligated to take this corner. So that does not work. So this is also an X for the same reason. So we can do it somewhere else, and I bet we can do it a bunch of other places too, if we grok what is going on. This is a corner, that's true. My brain somehow is not good at corner identifying today. So I think this being a light would also cause that problem, but I could be wrong. Oh, I think I'm wrong. I think it's okay. Because the light would... Oops. Not at all like that. The path would go here and then there, but that's okay. So, no problems there. Let's see. Salinas' row 7, column 8 is another example. So... I don't see that one. Let's see. Let's just draw it in. Row 7, column 8 goes like this. So it would create a corner here and a corner here. Sorry, that is not a corner. I am misreading it. It would just create a corner there. Row 6, column 9. Okay, so I'm supposed to look at row 6, column 9, maybe? Right. Okay, yes. Yes, row 6, column 9, right. If this was a light, I could draw it in gray. That's a smart idea. I can draw it in gray as a circle. If this was a circle, I would have to go through both of those passageways, and that's not going to work. Alleyways? There needs to be a good name for that. I don't know what it is. Okay, so that does not work. Oh, did I just put down a random X? No, I did not. Okay. All right. This cell here, would that do it? I would need one going that way, and I'd need a corner here. Yep, that also does it. So this is also an X. This cell... Sorry, no, this cell would force... Actually, maybe I don't see that one. It would force... yeah, I don't think that one quite works. Light in row 6, column 14 would break. Trying to see how that would break. The claim from Carl is that if this is a light, that breaks. Interesting. Interesting note. I feel this might be the second of Jay's puzzles in a row that I have done something completely unanticipated by her. Like, I think the last Jay Dyer puzzle... Oh, maybe it wasn't the last one. But very recently, Tallcat and I did a Jay Dyer puzzle where we used set and commented on how it was a very nice use of set. And then Jay was like, this was not intended to be a set puzzle at all. And then we watched Simon solve it, and it was way, way, way better than the way that we did it. But I did do a J puzzle between then and now, I believe. It was some sort of doubler puzzle that I liked a lot. Right, it was the doubler version of Zeta's Nightmare. Okay. Row 8, column 2 being light. Ah. Okay, so if this is light, what does it force? It forces this. I don't quite see it. Let's see. Row 15, column 12. It makes 3 loop ends in one area. Row 8, column 2. Okay, so let's try and fill this in. So we're supposed to see that this can't work. Because if this was a light, I would force that, but also this. But I still don't see what's broken in this universe. And also row 8, column 6. Oh, wow. Okay, yes, that's very cool. Okay, got it. So if this cell is light, then both of these... That's cool. Okay. If this cell is light, both of these need to have line going through them. And so the point is we would get that. And that's not great. Okay, awesome. So this cell is a gray X, is the point. And now, as a gray X, it is a corner, and it goes that way. This is now a dead end, so it has to be... has to go there. It probably applies to everything in the row that's not one of these two cells. But I'm gonna take my freebies before I go for the think harder ones. But I bet Selena is right that it's going to apply to a lot of cells. Because if this or this were light, exactly the same thing would happen. I would be forced to go through here and here. So these are both gray X'd as well. So gray X. Oops. Ah! Okay. That is very cool. And there was somewhere else where that exact pattern happened, I believe. Where was it? Or maybe it doesn't. I was thinking that it might happen over here as well, but I'm seeing that maybe it doesn't. Oh, this should itself be lit, because it lights itself. That's right. This now is an alleyway, so those go through there like that. And so now this cell is a dead end, so it's lit, because otherwise it does not work. So this is a light as a dead end, and this is a light as a dead end. So both of these are lights because they are dead ends, and so they can't be anything but lights. So that's going to light this whole row and this whole row like that. And so now this is lit, so it's going to go straight through there, like that. This is lit, so it's going to go straight through there like that. Oops, I'm going to put a random blue X wherever I'm clicking my mouse for no good reason. This cell is now a dead end, and so it must be a light. So light there, which shines all the way up and all the way down. Now this is a corner. So we get to do that. This is a corner, so we get to do that. So lots of good things have happened. This alleyway, we have to go through this alleyway. And once we have to go through this alleyway, this has become a dead end, and so this is a light. And so now we get to yellow all of that. This is probably what Jay wanted us to do, yes. Was like, when we were 30 minutes into the puzzle and Jay was like, someone has the break-in, I was like, oh no. Because I had thought we were doing exactly the intended thing and we just weren't Xing enough. But it turned out that maybe there were other things we could have done. Let's see. I want to make super sure I am being careful about getting my lights everywhere. Let's see. Passage in column 10. Yes. Good. This also is forced. And so now this is a dead end. So that is lit. And so all of that is light. And so now this is a corner. And so that has to happen. This certainly can't go up. It can't go into the light, so it has to come down like that. So now this cell is a light for multiple reasons. But it's a dead end is the easiest one for me to sort of see. So those are lit like that. Okay. This cell, Amy points out, needs to be lit, and it can only be lit from there. That is very clever. Okay, so that is lit. Oops. So all of these are yellow. Right. The point is, how is this cell getting lit? And so if this cell is going to get lit at all, it has to be self-lit. This is Carl's point. And so these all turn yellow. Row 4, column 1 is loopable, which then, because of the corner, tells us this. This is now a corner, which tells us this. This is now a corner, which tells us that. This has to continue. This has to continue, for that matter. Right. There are now cells in this row, like that one in particular, that need a light, but now we've put loop all over this row. So Jay's point is this is now a light, which is then going to light the rest of the row and the rest of the column. Well, not the rest of the column, up to there. Row 3, column 1 is another good spot. This needs to be lit, and it can only get lit from there. So that is going to fill in all of that light. This needs to be lit now, and it can only be lit from there. I believe that Amy saw that before that, but it's much easier after that, at least for me to see it. So we got that. So now this is an alleyway, so that continues. Oops. So that can. Sorry, I should make this center only. So that goes there. This goes there. This is a corner. That's a corner. This has to continue. And we get that. Like that. This is a corner. Let us see. Oops. Random hitting of the mouse. Yes. This cell, Jeffrey points out, I need to light somehow. Yeah, Jeffrey asked that as well. This needs to be lit somehow, and the only thing that sees it that can have a light is there. So multiple people saw that. So that all gets lit. So now this is a corner. 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 Uh-oh. Ambrose says no. Did I screw something up there? I'm not sure if I screwed something up. Row 7, column 11. Ah, yes, this is a tunnel. Good. Thank you, Nell. Row 8, column 10 is a corner. Yes, it is. Owing to this light. This is now a corner, so that's going to force that. This is now a corner, so that's going to force that. This is now a corner, so that's going to force that. So I think we get all of those. Oh, I don't think this is a corner yet. It will be someday. Let's see. Where are good things happening now? I'm looking for cells that are hard to light, because usually it is cells that are hard to light in this puzzle. Row 11 and 12 of column 5. So that there's something where if these don't connect, then this is going to go over. Okay, so let me just draw it in. If these two don't connect, then this is going to go over, which is then going to force that over, which is then going to force this over, and then the puzzle's going to be broken. Because now this has nowhere it can go. Because if it goes there, this loop is not finishing. So there's a sort of like parity thing going on where if this doesn't connect, I strand an odd number of loop ends in here. And you need to have only even numbers of loop ends. And so that I was trying to avoid that, but enough people are saying it, and it was not too complicated to see. So we do take that cell there. Okay. So somewhere in this column, I need to... need to do something. Row 11, column 7. Yeah, if this is a light, I create a dead end here. So this is definitely a gray X. Yes, and so now the question is, now how do we light this cell? And so the point is, this cell can now only light itself. And so that is going to get lit, which is going to turn both of those yellow. Now this is an alleyway, so we're going to go straight through there. And this is an alleyway, so that's going to happen. So this now can only go down, or I guess maybe I should say this one can only go up, but either way, the punchline is that is lit. So we have that. By the way, I will pause again to ask you to please like the stream if you have not done so yet. It helps, and I very much appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Let's see. Matthew says in column 12, you have to have a light in row 8 or row 9. Because otherwise these two will not be lit. I agree with that assessment. So yeah, whichever of these is loop is going to force some vertical loopage through here. I'm trying to see exactly what that's going to tell me, because it's going to tell me either there's a vertical loop segment there or there's a vertical loop segment there. Actually, yeah, whichever. So the point is there's always a vertical loop segment here, because if that's a light, then it forces that. And if that's a light, it forces that. So this always goes vertical like that, I think is the takeaway from this. Let's see. Amy says row 14, column 1 can only get lit from one place. Let's see. It is one of these two. I'm trying to see how I know which of these I know is not a light. Row 16, column 7 is a corner. That's true. Let's see. It was very close to true. I was willing to believe I know which of these is a thing. I just don't think I do yet. Okay, so if this is a light, then the claim from chat is that we've created a parity problem. Okay. There's the way. There's a nice way to see it. That Amy has just articulated, which is that in the end, the number of vertical segments that cross any line has to be even. And so currently we are at an odd number of vertical lines crossing row 8 and row 9. So we need either a vertical line here, which we know does not happen, because a vertical line here would rule a light out of both places that could light that. And so the vertical line is here. That's a good rule of thumb to keep in mind for loop puzzles, by the way, is that any horizontal or vertical line has to slash through the loop a finite number of times. Yes, that was Selena. Gave it in the nicest possible way. So that connects up there. Oh, sorry. Did I say Amy? I meant Selena. Oh, did I say a finite number? Darn it. An even number of times. I mean, technically also a finite number of times, unless you have a topologically very interesting loop. Some sort of Hausdorff condition on the loop or something like that wouldn't give you a finite number of times, I think. Okay. So we've got that there, which is very cool. It's remarkably annoying to prove that loops have an inside and an outside. That is absolutely terrifying, Jay. There is some LMD puzzle that KNT showed me that involved doing a puzzle on a fractal, where the whole idea is that the solution to the puzzle is infinite, but eventually it's repeating, and you just have to figure out how many layers of the fractal you have to go out before it repeats. I do not remember who made the puzzle or anything like that, but I remember seeing it and being like, "Wow, this is a lot." See. Oops, that's not what I was trying to do. I was just trying to highlight it and imagine if I thought this was going to happen. A row 13, column 7 is a corner. Well, it certainly can't do that. So if we count between row 11 and row 12, which is I think what Carl is suggesting, we currently have an even number of crossings between row 11 and row 12. So either both of these are crossed or neither of them are. So can we rule out that it's that is the question? Because these are the only remaining available ones. But I don't know that I immediately see that we can rule it out. But it might break lights if we put loop through all 4 of these cells. Is there a light that gets broken by that? Unfortunately, I don't think so. Okay, let's see. Jeff says row 15, column 15 is loop. Otherwise, the loop crosses the main diagonal an odd number of times. Okay, so we can do the same thing here. So it can really be any line when you do this. And so currently we cross the main diagonal once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. That's not crossing it. 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. And so the only other place we can cross the main diagonal is here. That is beautiful. Very well spotted by Jeffrey. So that gets us that connection. Yes, well done. Let's see. Corners are not crossings. The way you should think about it is you can slightly deform the loop to turn a corner into nothing. So you should view this corner as not, or whatever corner it was, I think it was that corner, as not crossing. Because a corner is not a crossing. Or a corner is 2 crossings. Exactly as Jay says. Either a corner, you can easily deform a corner into 0 crossings or 2 crossings. Okay, so Yes, so 0 mod 2 in either way. So yeah, so we've got these 6 things down here, which is good. I don't think it tells us anything, but it's good. This can't be a light, that's true. Because it would create a dead end there. Yeah, all the lines and all the diagonals are plausible ways to conclude something about loop passages. Row 14, column 6 can't be lit. Or sorry, can't be light. That would be huge if this is true. Okay, if this is light, what happens? Ah, yeah, if this is light, I create a dead end here. Okay, great. Thank you, Hook. So this can't be light, and so what that now has meant, I believe, is that this cell now can only be lit from here. So this has to be light. Oops. So let's fill in all of that. Great spot there. So now this cell now has to be lit from somewhere, and the only place that can light it is there, I believe. So this is light. And so we're going to get this, I believe. Now this light has created a tunnel. Oops. So this is a tunnel. This is now a corner. If I look at this, this can only connect up. So that is acceptable. Let's see. I'm looking to see if those lights did anything else very exciting for me. I don't think immediately. Let's see. Josh says look at row 16, column 6. It needs to be lit. Okay, we did that. Row 12, column 9 being light would break. We already have that. I believe. Sorry, that's not... No, that is... Sorry. No, oh, this is row 12, column 9. Sorry. This... Sorry, I misscanned that. Okay, if this is a light, then I create a tunnel through here. But then how am I handling these two things in here? And the answer is I'm not. It creates an isolated region with an odd number of cells. So, oops, again, wrong thing. So this is not a light. And so now that's important, I believe, because, I guess maybe I don't quite yet know how exactly this is going to go. This is the cell to ask about. Or maybe not quite, but I know one of these is a crossing, because I need a light in one of these in order to light that cell. Oh yes, that cell can only get lit from there. Okay. So this is light because it's the only place that can light there. So all of this becomes light. This now can only be self-lit, which is the saddest light of all. And so now this goes through there. This is a corner. That's a corner. So this has to continue or I'd close the loop. This has to continue or I'd close the loop. And then we get all of that over there. So we've got loopiness happening. Let's see. So one of these two is a light. Do I know which one? Should I know which one? Row 16, column 12 can't be light. If this was light, it would force this across and break that. So I agree, this can't be light. And so that does tell me where the light is in this row, because I need a light, something to light this cell, and now the only thing it can do is be self-lit. Thank you, Carl. So we've got all of those. And so given that, this needs to come across. This is a corner, so it needs to do corner things. How am I going to resolve this? Aren't there two ways to make this work? Oh, maybe it has to go across for some reason. Okay, so... So 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. Okay. So these rows now. We currently have 1, 2, 3, 4 crossings. So we can't have another crossing. Which means I can put an X here. That was more exciting in my head. I thought I was going to get more out of that. Yes, we already knew one of those was a light. In my brain, somehow that was giving me something more exciting. Yeah, so we know that either both of these are crossed or neither of them is crossed. That is the thing we know down here. Because of the 4 crossings, that is in row 11 and row 12. I really feel like if we crossed these, we must be messing up the light somewhere. So if none of these cells could be light, have we made a cell somewhere in the grid unlightable? Maybe not. Oh no, I've sunk too much, says Tristan. It is true that neither of these can ever be light, as FJam says, because if either of these were light, it would force an odd number of crossings between these rows. So by parity, neither of these is light. Also not row 11, column 15. 15. Right, that would create... I don't know what that would do. I don't immediately see it. This needs some loop to go through it. Okay. 2, 3. Row 11, column 15. So if this is loop, sorry, if this is light, it forces the loop to go over here. It forces this loop to go here. And that makes there be a total of 5 crossings in 10 and 11. Okay, that's really hard to see. But yeah, this does not work because it makes there be 5 crossings in the row if this was a light. Okay. The odd even counting trick is so tempting to look for, and then it so rarely is helpful. But then when it is helpful, it's basically the only thing that you could do because it means the deduction was global and not local. And there aren't a lot of global deductions to be had in these puzzles. So yeah, now the light for this is up in one of these two. So one of these two is a light for whatever that's worth. So there's not a vertical strip here, at least. And so the number of vertical strips in between these two rows is 1, 2, 3, 4. Not there. So if I want a vertical in either of these, I need a vertical in both. That's true. I can mark an X between them because I know one of them is a light. So I would need a vertical in both. Does something break if I make all of these lines? And annoyingly, I don't see how. Yes. Okay, so if this is a light, I create a passage this way and a passage this way, and my loop crosses itself, so that can't be. Thank you, Garion. Rose, that's that one. Yeah, this one creates a vertical passageway and a horizontal passageway, and then that makes these loops cross each other. I know one of these two has to be a light, because one of them has to... Oh, no, that's not true. This could see that cell. Never mind. Let's see. FJM says if this is a light, this is also a light. And then you have problems. I'm not quite sure I see that. Row 10, column... Row 6, column 14. So if row 6, column 14 was a light, it would create... So if row 6, column 14, let's just imagine this was a light, it would create that line and that line immediately. But now what's happening with these? Oh, no, that does work. Never mind, that does work. Okay, I think Ilme has a good spot. I think we mismarked something. In my brain, it was creating a plus here, but it does not have to. Good spot to Ilme. Let's see. Garion says we have a Jovi wing on lights in row 14. Row 14, no, row 4. Sorry, this is a nightmare. row 4, column 14 and 16. And row 7, column 14 and 16. So the claim is one of these two is a light and one of these two is a light. I guess I know vertically one of these two is a light. Oh, it is vertical. Right, it is vertical. One of these two is a light vertically, and one of these two is a light vertically. Oh, no, unless that one's a light vertically. I'm confused. So if row 5, column 15 is light, you break the row 4 lighting. Ah, right. If this is a light, suddenly neither of these can be light, because of the creating a dead end thing. And if neither of those is light, couldn't I make that and that light or something? Row 11, column 14. And row 9, column 6. Okay. 11, column 14. Okay. FJam had a point about this. Let's see. If this is light, row 9... I don't understand. Why does that make row 9, column 16 also light? Oh, it's because... Okay, it's because I need a light in one of these two. I had not appreciated that. I need a light in one of these two. So if this is light, that's light. This is FJam's point. Okay. And that's bad for some reason. Oh, actually, that's all FJam says, is that's bad for some reason. So what's wrong with the world where both of these are lights is the question. And so I need to have a path going through here. That's gonna... I feel like this is the exact thing I convinced myself didn't work before, and then it turned out it did. Forces that there. And then that would go around like that. But remember, this is also a light. So this would go down like that. And now we've created a dead end here. Is it really that complicated? It's pretty complicated, but this turns into a dead end, is the point. If we let this be a light, then we end up eventually creating this. So this is not a light, is the point. And if that's not a light, what lights this cell is the question. And the answer is over there. So all of these are now lit. So now this is a corner. Let's see. This is a corner. This is a corner. This now can only connect up. Now this loop can't close, so we do that. This loop can't close, so that connects over. Okay, so that was huge. So that gets us what happens down there that I was a little concerned about. This cell's a corner. 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 This cell's a This cell's a corner now. This cell now can only go there. So now this does go up like we were talking about before. And so now if we remember what this little X means, the little X means that there's a light here. And so that's going to take care of lighting those, which is going to bring that across. This now can only connect up, or alternatively, it's a tunnel. Take your pick. This is a corner. Let's see. I don't think there ever... Oh, now there really is a Jovi wing. Is there? Is that the point? Because now I really do, I think, need... just for the... yeah, I think now the Jovi wing is real. And so it's either that these are both lights or that these are both lights. I don't think I know which one it is, but chat seems to know. And one of these two is a light. Okay. I know whether this connects up or not just by counting. So let's just count row 5 and row 6. That's the easy thing to do. So there's 1 crossing, 2 crossings, 3 crossings, 4 crossings, 5 crossings. We need a 6th crossing. That's the easy way to do this. So that is a crossing, because I know that's not a crossing. And so that comes up there. We now know. Now, assuredly, we have done it, right? So now, which of these will do it? That or that. One of these has to break in some way that I should be able to see. Oh, there's a dead-end light in row 7, column 14. Ah, yes, that's right. That's the point. This cell's now a dead end. Because now it can't go in any direction. Right, okay. Thank you, Selena. Or sorry, someone. Thank you, Hook. Is the one I saw say that. Okay, so these are all light. Okay. I'm sure whatever chat had in mind for me to do was also cool, but I could not follow it. So this up here is also a light. And so, oh yes, and I need to make sure that I also light that cell. These are all lit as well. Now this is a corner. This is a corner. Now this can only connect like that. This is a corner. This is now the last light, I believe. And I think that is going to do it for the puzzle. That was a really cool puzzle. I enjoyed that one a lot. Just a really neat combination of stuff and a lot of neat things to discover as it went along. Nothing was ever too futzy. Very cool. Very neat idea, too. Just the combination, the fact that this worked is all kind of amazing. So I am quite impressed. Alrighty, I am going to take a quick break and then come back with another puzzle, so I'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back. We can make this grid significantly larger. I think we can even go a little larger than that, actually. There we go, that looks good. Alrighty, although I realize now that I am covering the rules that I asked Niverio to rewrite for me, so let me move myself up so that you can read the rules. As I also read the rules. Alright, so this puzzle is a hybrid of two things which I have maybe done before, but could not say the rules for off the top of my head. So in the end grid, the white fields of the Tapa are identical to those of the Nurikabi, whatever that means. Every island contains exactly one Nurikabi clue. All clues in the grid are both valid Nurikabi and valid Tapa clues. This also implies that if a Tapa clue has multiple question marks, the involved question marks can be the same digit. I have no idea what any of this means, so let's read the standard Nurikabi rules and the standard Tapa rules, and let's hope that some of this eventually makes sense. Shade some cells black so that the grid is divided into white areas. Okay, I can understand that. Each containing exactly one number, and with the same area in cells as that number. Two white areas may only touch diagonally. All black cells must be connected with each other, but no 2x2 group of cells can be entirely black. Okay, I feel like I've handled that before. And then the Tapa rules: shade some empty cells black to create a single connected wall. Numbers in a cell indicate the length of consecutive shaded blocks in the neighboring cells. If there's more than one number in a cell, then there must be at least one unshaded white cell between them. Cells with numbers cannot be shaded, and the shaded cells cannot form a 2x2 square. Okay, so I think I understand Nurikabi and Tapa separately, but I think the rules at the beginning I don't think make sense to me. Let's read them again. The puzzles both, in the end grid, the white fields are identical with each of those, and every island contains exactly one Nurikabi clue. All clues in the grid are both, and this implies that if a Tapa clue has multiple question marks, all the question marks are involved must be the same digit. A question mark can be any number. Okay. Alrighty. So I feel like this breaks the rules as soon as there's two question marks, but I guess I'm supposed to treat two question marks as one question mark for the Nurikabi? Or am I supposed to treat two question marks as their sum if it's a Nurikabi? Because every clue is supposed to be both, right? Every clue is supposed to be both a Nurikabi and a Tapa. And so if this were a 4-4, for example, I would have to do a 4-4 wouldn't work. If this were a 3-3, I would have to just count it as a single 3, right? Okay. So I think the first thing I know, and I'm sure it's going to be wrong, but I think the first thing I know is that this has to be shaded because I can only have one clue per white region. And if I don't shade this cell, I have two. Oh, I guess the even easier thing is I think all of these clues are unshaded. I believe. Because clues are unshaded. And I only get one clue, just to be clear. I only get one clue per region, whether it be a double or single. Okay, this is a double question mark clue, so that means there has to be that means there have to be two separate regions in these three cells. Okay, so I think I maybe know what's going on, maybe. I think that means I'm supposed to do this, and I can indeed now see that this is a 1-1 Tapa and a 1 Nurikabi clue. And the blacks have to connect, so we have to go out like that and like that. This is now at least a 4, but could be larger, I suppose. This I don't think I know quite yet. I think this is now clicking. The two question marks really confuses me when I was reading the rules. I think I now understand what it means, but that part was the part that really I think sort of blew my mind when I was trying to read this. Okay. So either that's black or that's black, for whatever that is worth. This question mark. Do I know if it's 1-1 or 2-2? Oh, it can't be 1-1. Because if it were 1-1, this would be a larger size than 2. So Selena is right. This has to be 2-2. And so the reason why it has to be 2-2 is that if it were 1-1, that would imply the green region grew, but if the green region grows, 1 is not a valid Nuritapa clue. So it's 2-2, which means it looks like this exactly, but it's 2-2, so that has to be like that. As we set up that. Okay. So there's only one string of black digits around here, and I know that not both of these are black. So if not both of these are black, that's got to be huge. So my black can't wrap further than here in that direction, and my black can't wrap further than here in this direction. But in fact, even if my black gets to here in this direction, I've already broken, because now the black is 5 for the Tapa, and only at max 4 for the Nuritapa. So the black, in fact, can't even get to... So the black can't get here from either direction. So the point is, this cell is green. That's the point. Okay, so... What about this cell? This cell now has to be green, because the only direction it could be black from is that direction, but we said these can't both be black, so this cell's green. We've got all of that. I do have to make sure my blacks connect at the end of the day. That's right. As I sort of noticed for the first time in the rules explanation, 4-4 is too big. So these have to be 3-3. That's true. All the inner double question marks have to be 3-3. Blacks between clues. Good point. So now... so this is Ilme's point. Now this region has grown to here, and so I can't make this cell not black, or I would put 2 clues in it. So I get that black. Good spot. Okay, so J40's point is if both of these were green, this is 5 cells in size, and for some reason in that instance I couldn't make this, right, this is 5 cells in size, but I can only put 4 black cells. Somehow in my mind that black cell counted, but it absolutely does not. If I make both of these green, there's at most 4 black cells, so therefore this has to be black. Okay. Agree with that assessment. Okay. This can't be a 1 or a 2. Because if it's a 1 or a 2, this thing has more than 1 or 2 cells in it. So this question mark is at least a 3. And as soon as this question mark is at least a 3, this cell's always shaded. And I think the same exact argument applies to this clue on the edge and that clue on the edge. I don't even think it could... Well, I guess it could be a 4. 4 is plausible, but it's at least a 3. So we know that that cell is always shaded. Okay, so Garion says that I can't do my 3/3 in this way. Oh, sorry, I am in Sudoku mode. Why won't it let me? There we go. Okay. I can't do my 3/3 like this. I'm trying to understand why. Oh, but I can't do it like this is the point. Oh, that's right. Shift doesn't work. This is the thing I can't do. And so I have to do it horizontally or vertically. Because I can't do this because this clue would not be a 3. And so I either have to do it horizontally or vertically. Either of those is okay. I don't think horizontally is going to work for this one, though. But the point is, if I can't do the L shapes, then I always hit all 4 of the corners. That's what chat was trying to get me to realize. And so all of these are always hit for these ones that J. Dyer proved have to be 3/3s. Okay. So now I worry about what's going to happen up here if I make this cell black. But maybe it would just be okay. It might just get away with it. And so I'm either going to need, because after I think about it, after I have my 2, say, vertical ones, I'm going to need to also shade those cells to make it actually a 3 Nurikabe clue. And so if this one is vertical, then that shades both of those, which makes this one horizontal, which shades those, which makes... which does not necessarily... Oh, which does, which makes this one vertical because I have to avoid a 2x2, and shades that. So there's only 2 options here for this whole string of these things. Which is I either shade all this stuff or I shade the other stuff. Sure. That's what I was thinking, Garion, but then when I tried to actually write it out, I couldn't convince myself of it. So if this is horizontal, sorry, let me let myself draw in more. So if this is horizontal, it looks like that. And now, oh, right. This just is flat out disconnected. That's the point. It's just flat out disconnected in row 2, column 1. I was trying to break the count, but it's not the count. It's the connectedness that is the problem, because this would have 2 question marks. So yes, so not horizontal, so hence vertical. Hence it looks like that. Hence this looks like that. And hence this looks like that. And we have some greening that we can fill in. Like that. So we've got that. Okay. So yeah. If this cell is green, that just works annoyingly. If that cell was green, I think. Okay. Selena says that this has to be a 5 or more. Because if it's 4, then I would need to make everything else around it green, and it wouldn't be a 4. So yes, this is at least a 5. I agree with that. I'm trying to parse the claim that this can't be green, though. Which I cannot at the moment parse. I will probably figure it out, but I do not presently understand it. Oh, right. Just by saying this is at least 5, we just said that. So it's at least 5, so the black grows. Sorry, I was trying to make the black grow for Nuritapa reasons, but it's not that it grows for Nuritapa reasons, it's that it grows for Tapa reasons. Okay. I now think if this connects... Oh no, I keep in my brain trying to connect this to that question mark, but that's not how it works. It's only that. How many can this green grow? I feel like if this green goes... If that's black, I need to find 5 cells for this green to take. I guess it could take all of those. That's a great point from Afraid Not. This green has to grow up. Because if this green doesn't grow up to at least here, then I have 2 black cells that touch and form a 2x2, to be clear. So I have to go up at least that far with this green, and likewise this green has to come down at least that far, because I can't have any unclued regions. That is a great spot. And so if this is at least 4, it can't be greater than 4. It can only be equal to 4, and it can only be equal to 4 as a Tapa clue if I do that. And so, therefore, that's black as well. And now this is green, and the green has to get out because it hasn't found a clue yet. Oh boy, that's going to be tough. Because this green's probably going to have to go to there and now get to 7. Yeah, I think this green's going to have to connect to here and be a 7. But it probably can do that in more than one way. Maybe it can't, actually. I don't think the green can. This green's got to be at least 7. I don't think there's any way to do that except... Oh, it can kink in different places. So there's still a little option. This being at least 3 means that's black. People in chat have begun to understand the rules of the puzzle, which is just always a plus. Let's see. Ah, yes, the black around the 7 is definitely forced. That's true. This always looks like that. I don't see how I know whether this is 3 or 4 yet. Oh, it's because if this is green, it should be 4, and it can't be. So this has to be black. That's the point. And so this is green. Yep. I just had to think about it harder than I was thinking about it. If this is green, we have an unconnected clue, and this could never get to an unconnected clue. So this is not green, it is black. The reason why the 7 can't come from the bottom is if the 7 comes from the bottom, it actually eats more than one of the clues. So then it would only be a 6. Is Illume the reason why the 7 can't come from the bottom? Okay. This cell has to be green, because if it's black, then that's black too. So this cell is green. And then that green needs to get out to connect to a clue, so it's there. But this green's clue is... oh, never mind. Sorry, I was going to say something nonsensical. Did I say something nonsensical? I think I did something wrong before. Because I think I said, when I shaded this cell, I think I said that if this cell was unshaded, it would need to find a clue that had 2 question marks. But that's just because I keep misapplying the rule. So I think that was incorrect. Because I was thinking, this cell would need to have a question mark clue. But this cell doesn't have a question mark clue at all. I keep trying to apply Tapa to the boundary of the Nurikabe, not to the cells of the Nurikabe. Certainly this is green and this is green. This still can't be black, because if this was black, it would still force all of those to be black. So that part was right. I was right about that one. And so that green has to come out. That part's all true. If this is green, the puzzle's broken. Because if this is green, the Nurikabe clue is at least a 4, but the Tapa is now fixed at a 3. So this cell's black. This fits right in with this collection of puzzles that a lot of people have given, where the original read of it is like, oh my god, this is crazy, and I have absolutely no idea what's going on. But then it starts to click as you work on the puzzle a bit. Let's see. Right. If this is not black, Garion points out, then it's green, which now, because of this single question mark, forces all of those to be green. But now green is at least 6, but black is only 4. So this is also black, which then by the avoided 2x2 gives me a green here. Almost assuredly, I suppose that green joins this question mark, but who knows? I'm not 100% prepared to say yet. All question marks away from the edge are at least 5. That's a good point, Jay. Because if they're not at least 5, then you already know a string of digits that is more than that that are in the region. So if this is horizontal, this is Carl's point. If this is horizontal, it looks like this. But then now there's of necessity unshaded cells down here to avoid 2x2s, but it's unclued. So that does not work. So this is actually vertical. And now this green question mark has to extend a ways, because if, for example, even if this cell is black, it creates a 2x2. So this cell can't be black, and so it has to join that. But then that forces it in its entirety. It has to be that. And now this can't be an unclude black, so it has to be that. That's green. Oops, that's green and that's green. No, not that, not that, that. Okay, so all of that goes in. Oh, this is green because I have the avoid a 2x2 rule. One of these two is black because I can't connect both of these. Okay, so now this... Okay, let's even go here. This can't be black, because if this is black, it makes all of that black. So this cell is green, and that green needs to get out and find a friend, so it needs to get out at least that far. If this was green, I guess this could just barely be a 7, maybe possibly. I'm not 100% sure. But seems possible. This question mark, again, it needs to be bigger than 2, because if this were green, then this would all be green and the clue would be huge, so that's not going to work. So this is black, and this is black, and that's black, just on the basis that this has to be at least 5. But because it has to be at least 5, it certainly has to get out, like that. And now I have to separate my clued areas, so that's got to be black immediately. Now... that was very helpful, I think. If this is black, then now this is supposed to be a 6. Oh, but it can be. So I think that's okay. Let's see. It isolates a black. Oh, this cell can't be black. That's the point. I was asking if this cell could be black, and it can. But this cell can't be black, is the point. Because if this cell was black... then I would have blacks connecting around like this, but now my green region wouldn't be big enough. So that's definitely green. And now this black needs to connect, and so that forces this over. And so now this thing, if this went up here, it would just be a lie, so it doesn't. So that's green. But now it's done, because now the Tapa clue is a 5, so that is black. So I've got that. No, Tapa is 6. I only count 5. Okay. Same argument for row 3, column 13. I don't think I see that. Oh, there. Okay, so if that's... if that's black, right, okay, if this is black, it forces this to be black. Admittedly, I'm not even going to try to count to 13 across the grid. If this is black, because of the single question mark clue, all of that's black, and that doesn't work. So this is always green. And so now this black has to connect to its friend, so that's black, and this is green. So I follow that. Let's see. No. I keep trying to bring this in. It's not part of it. Let's see. Can row 1, column 9 be green? Asks Nordy. If this is green, then that's black. Looks okay to me. Oh, no, it would break this cell. It would isolate this black thing. Okay, it isolates the domino. Okay, yeah. So if this is green, this is Nordy's point. If this is green, then now because this needs to get to at least 5, that becomes shaded. But now this needs to get to 5, and so that's unshaded. And now we've isolated this domino. Okay, so that cell is not unshaded, so therefore it is shaded. Okay, so now I need to get to 5 or 6. But if I make this shaded now, I think I run into a huge problem immediately. If I make this shaded, now I need to make this region at least size 6, but that involves combining 2 clues. That will not work. So this cell is not shaded. This cell is unshaded. So we get to that. And so we are looking for 5 in total. And now this is 5 or 6. If this is shaded, maybe that doesn't quite work. FJam wants me to find row 5, column 12. Somewhere in this region, I believe. Let's see. If this goes... So one of these two is green. Let's see. Row 3, column 8 equals black breaks. Let's see. If this is black, this is Carl's point. If this is black, now this is green. Let's just draw it in. If this is black, now this is green. And now these are both black because it's done. And now this is green. And that's green. And I've isolated this cell is the point. Right. This black cell is isolated is the point. Or we broke the fact that there's only supposed to be one question mark. Okay. So that was all under the assumption that that was shaded, so that's not shaded. It is unshaded, which then tells us we can shade these 2 cells like that. Okay. Third from right in row 5. This one can't be green. Let's see, if this is green... if this is green, it makes that black immediately to separate these 2. Which then makes that green. Okay, let's look at this. So if this is black, this is green... Oh, no, it must be green. Wait. Did I move out of row 5? I moved out of row 5. That's what happened. So it's this one. If this is black. Is that the question? If this is black, then now this clue is a 6. So I've got to go here... and now I can't touch there, so I've got to go there. And I've got to come here. So if this is black, this does look like this. And so then this has to be black, and these two are both black. And now this is green. I broke the question mark in row 7. The top black is isolated. That's true. I can see that. And then I don't have to count to 7. So yes, that isolates that in some not especially elegant way, as far as I can tell. Niverio probably had something more beautiful in mind than that, but it will suffice. So this cell can't be shaded, so this cell is unshaded, and that's going to be huge. Because if this cell is unshaded, now this has to be shaded immediately in order to stop these two from joining. But now this has to be green, because again, because this needs to be a 5. Okay, this also needs to be a 5, so I need one of these tubes. I need one of these two. Let's see. Niverio is somewhat suggesting that perhaps in a sane world we'd look over here. So this circle needs to have at least 5 shaded cells on it, and I can't have this cell being one of them. So this cell is never shaded, because remember, this question mark is at least 5. If this was shaded, it would need to go up or go down, and it can do neither. So I'm going to guess that the nice thing Niverio wanted us to do was notice that. And now at least 5 of these consecutively are shaded. That always involves shading all 3 of these. I think that's probably the deduction that Niverio had hoped we would make, rather than going around putting gray X's all over his beautiful puzzle. So we can do that. I'm trying to see if I can figure out similar logic to any of these other question marks, but maybe I cannot immediately repurpose that that I can see. Afraid Not wants us to look at what's happening with this. And basically pointing out it can't not be that. And then once it can't not be that, I can't sort of connect with that in a cute way because I've already become too big. So I think Afraid Not, contrary to Niverio's wishes, wants us to put a green cell there. Which I will respect. Row 10 columns. How big is this even? Is this 12 by 15 or something? I'm just trying to figure out where I think row 10 is. Is this row 10? Okay. 12 by 14. Okay. So FGM's point is this has to be shaded or right, because this is part of my swoopy region, and my swoopy region is already 7 cells, so that's certainly black. That's a good point. And so as soon as that's black, that is a great spot. That is green. So we've got that. And now that being green is huge because this needs to be at least 5. Nope. Zeta, that's not how that works for the millionth time. Wait, no. These have to be black. These do have to be black. Wait, isn't the puzzle now broken? because now that's got to be green and that's got to be... Oh, it's not quite broken. And now this is supposed to be exactly 5, so that's got to be black. And so now that's got to be black. And so now the way the green connects is there. Okay, that just works, I think. In my brain, this was going to run out one row before it did, but it fits. This green has to get out for sure. Oh, I can do a trick with this green. Because I need 5 consecutive blacks around here. And again, 5 consecutive blacks around here is always going to involve black getting these 3 cells. If I have learned nothing from Panthera, it is that. So these are always blackened. Good night, Jay. And now I have to be careful to connect these blacks. So I have to simultaneously connect these blacks, because this is a single question mark, while also keeping these 2 question marks apart. So I think that means that has to be black, because if it's not, then my green definitely in the process of getting to 7 cells is coming over here. So that's not going to work. So this is black, which means this green definitely comes here. If this cell was black, my green could not get large enough, because if this were black, my green would have to be 7 cells, but would be at most 5. So therefore, that is green. This black here, Ken is pointing out, is isolated, so I should probably connect it to something. And therefore, this is green, just by the way the puzzle works. I may have done something in an excessively complicated way. Okay, this needs to get to 6, I guess. Okay, so I don't know if that's going to be shaded or not yet, with that getting to 6, I suppose. But I do have to make sure that either that is black or these are both black. Oh, this green cell's got to get somewhere. This green cell can never join this, because that would be too many cells. So this green cell has to join that. And it has to join it immediately, because if it doesn't, I'm going to have to have a clue that's more than 7, and I can't. But now this does have to be a clue that's 7, so that has to be black, and this has to go around that just by the, and that has to go there just by the Nuritapa being 7. This now has to be green, and so that's black, and so it did connect. And now this has to be black, because otherwise it would be unclued. And I think I screwed something up, or there's not an answer check. One of those 2 happened. Both seem feasible. Like I had to count to 6 a bunch of times. So I might have screwed that up. But I think that's right. It seems right to me, anyway. Oh, it has to be gray for answer check. Oh, there's no answer check in the new link. Okay. Alrighty. Well, great puzzle. Another day where just every puzzle was just fantastic. Great job, Niverio. I really enjoyed this. Especially once I started working from left to right and not right to left. But it's okay. Tall Cat destroyed one of my puzzles today too, so it all works out. But yeah, very nice. I enjoyed that. I have always really enjoyed doing Nuritapa. I've tended to enjoy, in terms of genres that I enjoy doing, like in isolation, I have tended to enjoy Nuritapa. I have tended not to enjoy Tapa. But there have been some great sort of like Tapa plus puzzles in this pencil puzzle stream. Anyway, I am very happy that I did this pencil puzzle challenge, because I've been enjoying these things immensely. Great variety that I have gotten, and just fantastic puzzle after fantastic puzzle. So thank you, everyone. Yeah, the thing about breaking uniqueness is a problem with pencil puzzles, I imagine, quite a bit. But But yeah, you're right. This question mark, I think is what sort of drew us to look over at this part of the grid when we probably should have been looking at this part of the grid. Alrighty, well, thank you everyone for coming. This is the brief part at the end where I thank the supporters and ask you to consider supporting if you haven't. You can support by clicking the join button down below. You get the green name. You get the Zach emotes. It's awesome. And it helps keep the stream going, which is awesome. Also, if you've not yet subscribed to our math channel, which is just youtube.com/zetamath, we are very close to 10,000 subscribers. So if you are interested in subscribing to math videos about the Riemann hypothesis and other things, you can do that. Yes, please do like the stream if you haven't. Ooh, Hook has become a fan. Thank you, Hook. That is awesome. Thank you very much. Zach will do his famous fan dance for you. He is sort of fan-shaped himself, so he likes doing the fan dance. Thank you very much, Hook. Much appreciated. Welcome. We're now, Tristan says, at 9,999 subscribers on the math channel. That is awesome. We're almost there. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel here on Zetamath Does Puzzles, please do that. Always appreciate the subscriptions. Woohoo! 10,000 subscribers on the math channel. That is awesome. I am psyched about that. All right. But that concludes the stream for today. So thank you to all the supporters. Thank you to David, Michael, Nordy, Franco, and Woofer who support at the tip-top level. Thank you to everyone for liking the stream today. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you to all the setters who made all of these pencil puzzles. I know this was a harder setting challenge, I think, than most, but these puzzles have been incredible. So thank you so much. I'll see you all very soon. Have a wonderful day. I couldn't find my thanks for watching screen. I will do more of the pencil puzzles. Yes, I will finish the pencil puzzles next stream, is the plan. I mean, if I can. There's one from KNT in there that might take a whole stream. We'll see. But I intend to keep going on them. But anyway, bye for now.